Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we have actually a really good battle, and I'm also showing off the more recent premium, the Haida, or Haida. I'm gonna go with Haida. I'm probably mispronouncing it somewhere. I am taking out the Haida, the tier 7 first introduced Canadian ship in World of Warships, and she's actually fairly decent. It took me a little bit of time to actually get accustomed to her. I would say she's very similar to the Gajamada in a lot of ways, but as you will see, we are actually playing kind of high tier, which is really amusing. The destroyers are tier 7. There's only one tier 7 on the enemy team that's a cruiser. Everything else is tier 5 and 6. I am joined with Murakamo and the Shiratsu, and as you may notice, this is a replay with the account BWD. That's actually a really good friend of mine who allowed me access to his account to actually try out the Haida, because I actually don't own personally the Haida. So what you see is going to be me playing his account, which he granted me access to beforehand, just so I could try this out, just so I can get a video out for you guys about this ship, because I've heard things about this ship. This ship, oh my word, she is a good DD hunter. The reason why that is one, her DTEX is really, really low, 5.7 kilometers, best as far as any gunboats of her relevant tiers. The only thing better at outspotting her is going to be Japanese destroyers, and Japanese destroyers aren't really well known for their their guns, to say the very least. So for the most part, you're going to be the one spotting and being able to take care of enemy destroyers. What really helps with that is that she does have hydro. It's not the most amazing hydro in the world. It is only the normal hydro. It's 3.4, I believe. But there's another nice thing about the Haida compared to most any other destroyers. There's a few that are obviously very few within the World of Warships that has a crawling smoke, and this crawling smoke is extremely beneficial because it does allow you to push in and reposition, and you take the smoke with you. Now here's one little secret, an Easter egg that Wargaming put in, just so you guys know. Every time the Haida actually hits a ship with their guns or torpedoes, you can hear very, very faintly, "Sorry." I thought it was funny. I really did thought that was funny. Anyways, so Haida is a great anti-DD. As you can see, you can outspot enemy destroyers. We are in first blood, kind of stolen that kill, really. But am focused on this Gallant. Want to at least try to take him out, and just look at that. The smoke is very, very beneficial because it just allows you to creep, and torpedoes aren't really that big of a concern, especially if you constantly keep moving. Yes, you can get hit, but if you have your hydro, more than likely you will spot them before they actually show up, and Normandy actually takes out the enemy Gallant. Now, for the most part, she is very good. There are obviously a few downsides. Let's start off with her torpedoes. Her torpedoes are actually decent. 8 kilometers. They are decent as far as damage. They're decent as far as range, as speed. But, as you can see, she only has one set, and there are only 4 torpedoes within that tube. Now, she can fire them individually. As you can kind of see, I'm actually looking at that con egg. Let's see if I can actually show it. No. Replay doesn't want to show who I am aiming at, but I am aiming at that con egg, using the island for my benefit, hoping to at least get some torpedoes off. And obviously the con egg is probably aware that there is in fact destroyers around here. So he's actually doing a really good job as far as taking evasive action and not obviously eating a face full of torpedoes. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get torpedoes off, and you might be wondering why I'm saying this game's really good. Well, just wait. Low tiers are kind of known for their less than optional, and then again, you could say that even for high tiers. less than optional performance, as you will see. So once again, using the benefit of that smoke, I'm able to pull out and just use that smoke to my benefit. Do get a fire. Now, one thing I probably should also talk about, this captain's only a 10-point captain. So at the very least, concealment is what he has on. He also runs, I believe, preventative maintenance. I'm not a very big fan of using preventative maintenance. I like my priority target. I just generally feel a little bit safer. And yes, I know you could say you've been playing the game long enough, you should be aware of who's really aiming at you, but it does help. And I can be a little hyper aggressive in my destroyers, so being able to actually, you know, realize, oh crap, I went a little bit too far. So there's only a slight difference. Now, the reason why I pointed this out, the whole fact that is only a 10-point captain, is the gun caliber is relatively small. And to really get the guns to working for your benefit, IFHE is extremely beneficial. Now, obviously, IFHE does take away from a lot of stuff, takes up a lot of skills, but honestly, I can't really think of very much other than possibly getting RPF that would be extremely beneficial, because advanced firing training is not that great, because her guns also are they're very lofty, to say the very least. So you definitely do struggle whenever you're trying to get shells to land at a target far away, and if it's small, you're definitely going to struggle in that aspect. So AFT is not necessary, to say the very least. That's definitely for sure. So getting IFHE is not that big of an issue. RPF would be nice, but actually dealing damage, getting IFHE is extremely beneficial. And here's one other little thing probably not many people know. Any British cruisers or a few destroyers that can fire torpedoes individually, here's a tip for you. If you fire 2 spreads of torpedoes and you decide you need to reload, press F and you will actually automatically start reloading. So there is a tip there for you in case you need to reload your torpedoes. And it looks like we're actually going to get this Bayern Koenig. So that is kill number 2 for us. And at the moment, our team is very slightly ahead. We've lost 4, the enemy team has lost 5. And the enemy team is currently capturing D. The enemy team's destroyer, I believe it's a kamikaze, that is proving to be the real major issue, is going to be a pain for us. But at the exact same time, our team's battleships aren't doing that great. We just lost our Texas to the Fuso. I believe the Fuso is still fairly healthy, about half health there. Jorge, or Murakamo, is currently over there combating the west side, doing what he really should be doing. But at the moment, I'm actually trying to get this Britannia. And this Britannia is going to be a pain in the butt for me, as you will see here in a moment. So at the moment, the team has the caps fairly secure. We're currently recapturing D. We're even on ships, but we are definitely ahead on points, 646, while the enemy team only has 464. This is going to be extremely beneficial, as you will see a little bit later on. Now, the Haida's torpedoes are probably my most major complaint. She does definitely struggle, which, I mean, is extremely beneficial, because Haida's fairly strong as is, especially against enemy destroyers, but having additional torpedoes or anything like that obviously would make her really, really strong, because the torpedoes actually hit pretty decently hard and they have a decent range, especially considering your concealment. So Britannia is starting to push in towards C. Obviously, he's aware there is a chance there is a enemy destroyer, but at the exact same moment, we have just lost our Julio Cesar to the Fuso and our Kirov to the Shiratsuyu. And unfortunately for Murakamo, he's in deep trouble. Somehow he has managed to get north of those battleships, and obviously he has no place to go, so he is unfortunately going to go down. And I am currently hoping to get some torpedoes on this Britannia. So at the moment our team's ahead in points, and we're a little bit down in ships at the moment. So we might actually just have to rely on winning by points. Because things are looking a little tense right now, to say the very least. I do believe the Shiratsuyu did go down. I'm actually kind of curious. Yes, the Shiratsuyu did go down, and the Kamikaze is still alive. Now, I did open up hoping to maybe get this Britannia to turn, because obviously my torpedoes just missed, so that's why I did open up. And as many people may or may not know, for whatever reason, low-tier battleships really like to sling HE, which kind of hurts. So I'm actually going to go ahead and slow up and pop my own smoke screen and try to use the benefit of the fact that he did fire and he is detected against him, because I'm able to open up and deal damage and get a lot of defended base captures. Now I'm kind of curious. I want to see down in the comments below how many defended base capture points, flags, ribbons you guys think I actually earned. It's actually rather amusing how many I actually did get. That should be a little bit of a hint there. But one nice thing is, if say a ship, you know, disappears, like especially a battleship, what you can definitely do is use the smoke screen to your advantage and spot them, and then obviously disappear once again. You get 3 defended base captures. Now this is extremely beneficial for us because we're able to prevent them from capping, from gaining additional points, and obviously I'm getting a lot of defended base ribbons. Now at the moment our team is 4-6. There is obviously not a very good ratio to us, 2-3 at the moment. And there is still a Kamikaze left alive, and that Kamikaze is going to be a major issue for us because, well, we have 2 battleships and I believe a Kamikaze as well. Honestly, I don't know what the Kamikaze is doing. I'm pretty certain he's trying to at least hunt the enemy Kamikaze. But enter the enemy Dane, and the enemy Dane is obviously a British cruiser, and that's something I really don't want to deal with. Now, going back to the ship, I've actually talked everything about the ship. The Haida also doesn't have a really good AA, so don't rely on her AA. That's why I didn't think advanced firing training is also beneficial, because her AA is not particularly amazing by any standard. And her guns, like I said, they're very lofty, and they do kind of need some help with IFHE. Her torpedoes are decent, they're obviously only 4 torpedoes, and I'm just going to be a pest right now. This is also very amusing, is I get a Citadel on the enemy Dane, which is just hilarious seeing. So actually dealing fairly decent damage against this enemy Dane. One thing you may have noticed is her guns actually don't turn 360, so definitely not like the Gajamada. That's something to do keep in mind whenever possible. The second turret turns 360. I do apologize. The second one actually does. So her speed is nice. She's actually a fairly quick destroyer, which is extremely beneficial because you're able to zip around and provide intelligence on the enemy team. Now, once again, I'm just being a pain, and I'm preventing them from capping, and this is going to prove beneficial, like I've said multiple times. But at the moment, there's not much I can do. As you can see, I'm actually struggling to deal damage against that Britannia. But right there, we have just lost our Normandy. We do have our Texas, who's pushing up against the Omaha. But I believe this Texas is firing HE. I might be wrong on that. And we've just lost our Kamikaze. So now it's 2 ships to 5. I'm currently dealing with the Britannia. Got that fire on him. torpedoes are now reloaded. And keep in mind, I haven't actually had the opportunity to actually get a torp off on this Britannia. He's actually been a very, very nimble opponent. And look at that. Got another Citadel on this Dane. And it's just really fun and amusing to actually see that every time it actually lands. But right now, main focus is actually taking out these two ships. So I do fire a wide spread of torpedoes instead of a narrow, and I switch my attention back to the Dane. I want this Dane dead. He's one ship I'm a little bit more concerned with. Got a little bit quick there, and another helpful tip is if you need to slow up a lot quicker, as I probably should have been a little bit more careful, use your speed boost, because that does allow you to slow down a little bit quicker. Now these torpedoes are semi-decent. Do get a torpedo. As you can see, we did almost 15,000 points of damage against that Britannia. His damage control is off, so he is flooding. His engine is down, and right now I'm really hoping just for that fire. And any moment now, Texas is going to go down. And there goes the enemy Texas. We dodge the salvo from the Britannia. The Britannia is hopefully going to go down, not before he fires in that final salvo. Gets a fire on us, leaves us with 156 points of health. That is killed number 4. And we are the only team, or only teammate, or only ship against 3 enemy ships. And there is still the enemy kamikaze. Fortunately, no one was apparently close enough to actually open up on us, so we're able to slip away, and I'm obviously going completely the other direction. Now, at the moment, there's still about 3 minutes left on the clock. The enemy team is about 300 points behind us. Omaha is starting to capture B, and I would say capping B would be extremely beneficial for your team, because that is the enemy kamikaze. The kamikaze is actually a very fast destroyer, and even with my speed boost, I can get up to around 39 knots. And all the kamikaze has to do is land one shell. And if the kamikaze pushed into D and the Omaha finished capturing B and pushed into C, they would prevent us from winning. There's no way we were able to draw in points, and obviously the enemy team would be able to win. So enemy kamikaze is currently in D. B stops being captured when it was almost fully captured, mind you. There's still about 2 minutes. Granted, yes, not likely the enemy team is going to pull back points, but capturing B would have prevented me from actually gaining points. And at the moment, well, I'm trying to get away as quickly as possible. Keep in mind the kamikaze's gonna be faster than I am. So I have torpedoes. Let's just try our luck. You never know what's gonna happen. We do spot the enemy Omaha, so the enemy Omaha probably has an idea of kind of where we're at. Starts capturing C, and we only have one cap coming in right now. Now, if the enemy battleship had pushed into B, might have been able to stop it. And lo and behold, there's B being captured, but the enemy Omaha has other plans. His plan is to try to murder me, and steps off the cap, but in a moment now, we get a very pleasant surprise. Kamikaze dead. So with this very intense battle, especially near the end, our team earned a victory. We brought home 492,831 silver. We earned Solo Warrior because the friendly Texas went down before the enemy Britannia, so it was 4 versus 1 at the very end. We earned Kraken Unleashed, taking out the enemy kamikaze with that blind salvo of torpedoes that both won us the game and also got us Kraken. Earned First Blood and High Caliber. We did 113,498 points of damage, 211 shell hits, 3 torpedo hits, 4 incapacitation, 5 kills, 7 fires, 3 floods, and the really funny part, 5 citadels. And last but not least, the defended base capture. 31 defended base capture. Not bad. Not bad at all. Obviously, top of the team with a lot of it coming from the defended base capture. You get a lot of points, experience, and money from that. 2,319 Most of our damage was against the Britannia, 56,156 points of damage. Koenig with 23,000, Dane with 19, and the Kamikaze with 4,760. Had they prevented me from fully capturing, had they prevented me from gaining points from the capture points and captured the own points, the Kamikaze probably could have found me, because I think he was just right there at the limit of my detect, and had he got one shell on me, he would have killed me, would have taken me down. But unfortunately for the enemy team, they decided not to go with the capture base and instead obviously try to hunt me down. So quick look at the Haida. Hopefully it has been somewhat beneficial and instructional. It's a fun ship. It's a little strong, especially with that low detect, the crawling smoke, and the guns close range are fairly decent, especially against enemy destroyers. Keep in mind, BFT is going to be extremely beneficial, and IFHE, especially dealing with heavier armored cruisers and battleships, very beneficial. But anyways, this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what we saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.